Lena discusses how Alexandra Eala will fare at the 2026 Australian Open. Lena has seen Alexandra Eala up close and personal as her team captain at the Macau Tennis Masters in China. Eala is performing alongside Jerry Xiong and Wu Yibing as Team World against a Team Europe team made up of Alejandro Davidovich Fokina and Mira Andreeva. The Filipina star has lost her last 2 matches at the tournament, but she's shown a good account of herself in China. Eala has impressed her team captain Lena, and the Grand Slam winner has discussed her chances at the Australian Open in 2026. Eala has previously struggled at the Australian Open, having not made it through the first qualifying stage on 3 occasions. The star has automatically qualified for the main draw in 2026 thanks to her ranking of world number 57 on. Eala is a top 10 material in 2026. She has the momentum, the drive, the focus, the ambition, the confidence, the right team, the dedication and motivation, and most especially the talent and the intelligence. She is definitely the dark horse to win any of the 4 Grand Slams. Backhand index pointing down, join the debate. Share your insight. Use the comment button on the bottom left to have your say. 10 comments. Like or comment. Lena believes Eala will have to handle her nerves, but has tipped her to impress at the first Grand Slam of the year. At her Macau Tennis Masters press conference, Lena said, "I remember first time I played 3rd round against Maria Sharapova in the Laver Arena. I was so nervous I didn't know if I could walk on the court. I really love her personality, and she's played well, and she is also so young, but she's got a lot of experience. So I believe she can do it much better at the Australian Open." Eala won her first Grand Slam match at the 2025 U.S. Open, defeating Clara Tauson in the first round at Flushing Meadows. Alexandra Eala discusses her chances of Australian Open success. Eala is aware of the difficulties she has had at the Australian Open in the past, but she hopes her qualification into the main draw will create a turning point. Speaking at the Macau Tennis Masters, Eala said, "I'm so excited. I've been preparing this whole preseason. I haven't had much success in the Australian Open in the qualies before, but I'm hoping that will change in the main draw. Every year is a different story. I'm so open and so eager to be out on that court." The Australian Open is the only Grand Slam main draw that Eala is yet to play, so the star will already achieve a historic feat at the 2026 tournament. Alexandra Eala Australian Open. The Australian Open has always been a stage where legends are created, from Rod Laver to Serena Williams, Margaret Court, and more recently, Naomi Osaka. Among those stories sits another thread, woven years ago by a young Chinese player who captured a nation's heart, Lena. 2-time Grand Slam champion, trailblazer, and now a thoughtful voice in the sport, Lena has begun turning her attention to the next generation, and one name she speaks of with genuine warmth and respect is Alexandra Eala. In late December 2025, as the tennis world began to look ahead to the 2026 season, Lena offered her perspective on how Eala might fare at the upcoming Australian Open. It wasn't a cold analysis of rankings and seedings. It was something more, the voice of someone who stood where Eala wants to stand. Lena believes that the young Filipina can do much better than she has previously at Melbourne Park. Tennis head. But what does that truly mean? Do much better. A rising star on the global stage. To understand Lena's optimism, we must first understand the meteoric rise of Alexandra Eala through the 2025 season. Once outside the top 140, she exploded into global consciousness with a series of performances that read like a tale of poetic ascent. At the 2025 Miami Open, as a wildcard, she stunned the tennis world, defeating former Grand Slam champions and cracking into the tournament's latter stages, becoming the first Filipino to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal and the first to beat multiple top-tier opponents in a single event. Wikipedia. She followed that up by breaking into the top 50 of the WTA rankings, another historic milestone for Filipino tennis. Women's Tennis Association. She made a WTA final at Eastbourne and claimed her first WTA 125 title later in the year. All signs of progression, resilience, and competitive hunger. Tennis 365. Perhaps most emotionally resonant was her first Grand Slam match win in the main draw at the U.S. Open, a historic breakthrough that mixed joy and tears in equal measure. the National. By the end of 2025, Eala wasn't just a promising young player. She was a force with a meaningful track record, a growing fan base, and a real trajectory into the sports elite. Lena's voice, experience meets encouragement. From the podium of her own career, Lena sees traits in Eala that echo the early signs she once saw in herself: passion, fearlessness, and a genuine love for the game. In her interview, Lee recalled her own nervous early Australian Open matches, walking onto the Rod Laver Arena court with butterflies in her stomach, but also acknowledged that such nerves can transform into fearless focus with time and repetition. Tempo. To a 20-year-old like Eala, who's already tasted success and disappointment in equal measure, this kind of perspective can be grounding. Eala's personality, her joy on court, her fierce competitive spirit, is something Lena admires. She's spoken about how Eala's experience on tour, both positive and challenging, has already equipped the young player with emotional tools that go beyond rankings or seedings. Tempo. What doing better could look like in Melbourne. When Lena talks about doing much better at the 2026 Australian Open, she doesn't just mean surviving the first week or pushing matches to 3 sets. She's referring to something deeper, one growth beyond results. For many young players, a Grand Slam is a gauntlet, energy-sapping, spotlight-intense, and psychologically charged. A deep run in Melbourne requires not just skill, but calmness under pressure, adaptability on the hard courts, and a sense of belonging on tennis's grandest stage. Eala showed this in spades at Miami and during her WTA breakthrough matches, where she never looked overawed despite facing top veterans. That confidence is a rare and precious quality. 2. Learning from adversity. Throughout 2025, Eala faced both heartbreak and triumph, a final loss at Eastbourne and historic wins alike. It's in the responses to these moments that champions are made. Tennis is unforgiving. Losses can hurt, but the players who thrive are those who let setbacks refine rather than define them. Women's Tennis Association. Lena knows this better than most. Her own career was an arc of early struggles, self-reflection, and eventual breakthroughs that culminated in historic Grand Slam titles. 3. The mental edge. Grand Slams demand equilibrium, to attack with fear and defend with calm. Eala's temperament increasingly visible, hints at a player who can grow into those moments, not shrink from them. In Lena's view, that mental edge, born of experience but sharpened by belief, is crucial for a breakthrough performance. Beyond rankings, culture, legacy, and identity.